All right, everybody, I think that worked. I think we're live. I'm just a minute or two early, but I decided to go ahead and go for it after the little bit of technical difficulties we had last week going live. I wanted to make sure if I had any issues, I had time to fix it. So I see there are all kinds of people here waiting. So welcome. Glad to see you all here. J-Rock and Vicky and Catherine and Barbara, I can talk, Flora, Robin, Stephanie, Carol, and Connie and Susan, and Susie. Welcome, everybody. So today, it's been a little while. I know Leah and I did a sneak peek one last night, but it feels like ages ago because we didn't do our normal Facebook Live. So, and our new release is live. So now we can officially use and share everything. We did a pretty good sneak peek last time. But I'm going to use another one of, actually two more of the new sets, the Hibiscus stamp die stencil, and then the nested hexagon. So some different things that we didn't use last week and haven't featured on there. And they're all still in stock 2 days after the release. So that kind of works out well also. And I've got a super fun, I'm really excited about the color combo today. We've got a family trip planned this summer to Hawaii. So this is giving me all the excitement for that trip as well. And I just see on there, Keith, welcome, first time here. I thought I saw another first time, but I don't know if I missed it as it slipped by. So if I did, hello and welcome. Thank you for letting us know that you are here. If this is your first time, just like that, please go ahead and leave a comment and let us know that this is your first live. We're super excited to welcome you and glad that you're here. And Cindy, that's funny. I know I was trying to keep up with all of them and I was like, I'm not going to be able to get all these names, but I like to try and hit a few at least as we go along. And also, if you are new here first time, in addition to leaving a little comment and letting us know so we can say hello and welcome, we also give away a $15 gift card every time. I just saw the name Pinkfresh Studio popped up. That is Leah Lawson, who is behind the scenes, my partner in crime. Quite often we do these lives together. If not, one or the other of us is generally behind the keyboard instead of behind the camera. And Leah is going to be the moderator today. So as I'm crafting, I've got an appointment I have to scoot off to as soon as the live is over. So I'm going to be kind of maybe a little bit head down crafting today just to make sure I can get everything done. So if I miss a question, miss a comment, Leah will catch that. She's great at that. And if somehow we both miss it, just leave it again. I promise we're not ignoring you, but sometimes the comments fly quick and it's easy to miss. And I see Brenda, this is your first live. Welcome, so glad. And Michelle, another first time. And Sharon, I just saw you slide by up at the top there. Welcome, everybody. And Tammy, lots of new friends today. Super excited to see you guys all. All right. So also all of the supplies. Oh, and Francine, another first time. And Marianne. Oh my goodness. This is a lot of, and Flora. Hello, and welcome. And Deb from Tennessee. And Connie, your first time. Oh my goodness. I don't think we've ever had that many just all in a row like that for me to catch up on. And I got to see everybody. And Barbara from Connecticut. All right. So all the supplies I used today, those are linked in the description as well. We used to try and link them as we went along, and Leah would do it, but we finally found it was just easier to have those as a reference. So if you have any questions or anything you're curious about, feel free to ask, but just know for reference that those are on there if you go looking for them and you're wondering where they are. One final thing before I switch the camera around and we get started. We also would love, it's not required or anything, but we love if you click the thumbs up button. And also if you are able to share this video, you can share in a message, in an email, in a group, or on your personal pages. Then just leave us a comment, letting us know you did that. And that counts as another entry for the $15 gift card as well. The thumbs up, that's just, it's just doing us a favor because it helps everybody else find it a little bit better. So that, I think that covers it. So we're going to switch around. I just see my hot foil machine is hot and ready. So we're all ready to start on that. So let's get started on our card for the day. Move my laptop out of the way. And this is the set we're going to use today. Let me show you real quick. The washi tape for this one, so soft and pretty. I've got a little scrap of it in the back here. We're not going to use that today. But generally when these rolls come, I wanted just to mention this if you're looking at the washi tape and if you get it. So these are designed to coordinate with the stamp set and therefore with the coordinating die. So a lot of times when the roll comes, when you first start it, it's not maybe at the beginning of that panel like you would expect. So I always, that extra, you could just pull it off and throw it away, but I always pull it off and throw it on a piece of cardstock because there's still a few pieces on here that I can use. There's only a couple that are really cut off and not useful. And even this one that's a little cut off, I'll probably still tuck that around something with something else on there. So just a little mention when you get the washi and you're trying to line it up, because I know sometimes if this one's a little self-explanatory, but some of them have a good break in the middle and it feels like it doesn't match up with the die, and we've all been there and we've done it. So just know you're not the only one. All right, so that's the washi, but we're going to use the stamp die and stencils today. So I'm going to set those aside for the moment, and we're going to start with these fun and amazing nested hexagons. I'm going to pull my hot foil machine over. I'll do my best to keep it all on camera. So if you haven't seen these before, so many different ways and possibilities to use them. This release has our first foray into the nesting, our nesting dies, but we did them to coordinate with the hot foil plates. We didn't just want nesting dies because there's so many of those out there, but we wanted to put our own Pinkfresh spin on them. So doing them with these hot foil frames is exactly how we accomplished that. So you've got each of these frames separate. So you can, what we're going to do today is we're going to actually hot foil this one. So I'm going to put this on and get that preheating on my machine. I'm going to use this is called Moonstone hot foil, and it's just a very pretty iridescent blue kind of tone. I thought it felt like tropical water. So, you know, I had to go with that today. And then I've got that. So you can hot foil the frames, and then you can use these nesting dies to cut out both sides like so. And then you have just a one-piece frame that you can pop up. So this is a reverse done one example of that. And I hot foiled, and then I used the solid foil plate to do the reverse and then die cut it. So that's one way that you can do it. You can also layer them directly on a card base, and then you don't even have to die cut if you just want to use the frame. Or what I'm going to do today is I'm going to hot foil, and then I'm only going to cut out the center to make a window. So I'll show you what I mean as we get to that. But for now, let me pull out my die cut machine so that as soon as this, yep, and there we go, that's ready. So I'm going to pop this loose from my machine here, because now as I lay everything on, I don't have to worry about it shifting when I pop it loose. I use too big a panel of cardstock just because I find it's easier to not have to try and get everything centered. We're just going to go straight through here. Hexagons are one of my favorite shapes. And then also you have dies that you can just use on their own. And I've done a few cards with just those alone as well. All right, I'm going to tidy up my desk area here really quick. Ooh, not to drop things on the floor. And then let's peel this off. Oh my goodness, I love that color. Isn't that just yummy? So pretty. All right, I will save this because I will likely foil that again down the road and then cut out the negative piece to use for another card. For now though, I'm done with my hot foil machine. I'm just gonna scoot all that out of the way and set that somewhere off to the side to cool off. And then pull out just our nesting pieces here. Get that front panel all ready to go. You know what? Give me a second here. I just realized it didn't come up right on my phone. There we go. And I think I'm probably missing a lot of comments. So if you ask something important, ask again, because I was pretty focused on my hot foiling. Connie, that is a Spellbinder's Glimmer machine, which we actually now carry in the Pinkfresh store as well. So you can find that there. right, I'm going to use stitched rectangles. I cut this too big because then I didn't have to keep it perfectly centered and perfectly lined up. And now I can, that waist piece. Who said that? Waist piece. Yes, Carol. I know that's the magic of the solid foil plate, and I love it. All right, I'm going to center this. Oh, hold on. I was hearing a little whisper from my phone of the video. Nothing like listening to yourself in surround sound, right? Okay, I'm going to die cut this, and then we'll cut our window out of the center. This allowed me just to make sure I lined it up straight, and I didn't have to try and make that work. All right, one other trick here I'm going to show you. Whenever I die cut a rectangle die like this, I always try and run it through my machine. It doesn't show much here, but I'm not running it straight through. I'm running it at a slight angle. And that just helps it run through, for me at least, a little bit smoother. Mindy, I am all by myself crafting today, but Leah is behind the scenes moderating for us today. All right. So first piece die cut there. Brush all the extra off. I'm going to just set those aside again today. And then let's get our, nope, not that one. I was going to have to figure out which one is it that, there we go. That's the one we want today. I'm going to tape that in place. Cut out that window. All right, there's that center window. So now check that out. We have that perfect window frame that once we get our florals done, we can now pop that up on our card base. And I mean, if you wanted to, that would make an adorable shaker card. I'm not going to do that today because I think hot foiling, stenciling, stamping, die cutting, and building a card and getting done in time to head out for an appointment is probably enough for one card. So I'm going to just not be overly ambitious today on that. And then also I've got a little adhesive. I'll grab my adhesive eraser on that. In fact, I'm going to do that now. I always like to do that when I tape my dies in place. They always leave a little bit of residue on them, but now you also just have this fun hexagon shape that, in fact, this would probably be really cute to stamp a sentiment and put on the inside of your card as well. So there's just there's so many different, even from one thing. I hot foiled one thing. I'm going to have my negative piece that when I die cut out, I'll have a solid piece there. I'll even have that I can turn into a window. Then I have this and that solid piece here. So many possibilities. So all from just one thing. So I love how that all works together. Okay. So this I'm now going to set aside. My plan right now is this kind of aqua card base that I'm going to pop that over, and then we'll arrange our florals. So let's go ahead and get started on our stenciling, and then we'll be ready to put this together. And I'm just going to put these here because anyone else, but do those colors just make you happy or what? I love them. So there are 6 layers to this stencil set. And as always, this mock-up on the back is a great reference if you're trying to decide how you want to color. So you can tell the larger blooms are one color in 2 layers. The leaves, of course, are 1 layer, and then all those little ones and the centers are all in 1. You can mask and mix and match that. For example, if you want like the center of those big hibiscus to be a different color than all those little flowers, it's going to work for what I'm doing today, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I'm kind of excited on getting this all built and put together. So I'm going to stencil first. I am going to stamp. I'm pretty sure I'm going to stamp afterwards. My plan right now is to use detail black ink. So I could stamp in a soft color, leave it all lined up in my MISTI, and then line up my stencils and then stamp the detail black. I also could have stamped like last night and given it plenty of time to dry or heat set. But I also have a little trick I want to show you in case you want to stencil and then line up. So I purposely have a half panel of cardstock. You're going to notice that it is, it's 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. So it's not, I'm not going to use it with the alignment guide. Ooh, I better make sure these are facing up. That was almost upside down and would have been really fun. I'm not going to use the corner alignment guides. You could, but what I am going to do on this is I'm gonna do Leah's method here of taping this in place. Actually, you know what? Never mind. Nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to line up my stencil over the top here. You notice it's a little wider than over here, but I'm okay with that because I'm only going to line up along this side. And as long as I line up along this side, and then I'll show you another little trick I'm going to do here. When I start stenciling, I'm going to stencil a little at the top and bottom. That's going to give me my top and bottom guidelines. So we're going to go ahead and go with that. I think I'm still going to want to kind of spin this around and rotate and work with that. So we're going to start. It's been a while. But coral reef is coming out to play today because I couldn't resist. It's been a while. So we've tried to bring some new colors in, but I really wanted to use coral reef today. So like I said, I'm going to quickly just add a quick little stencil blob of ink on both of those corners. Because now I have, when I peel this off and put my next one on, I can see exactly where that needs to line up on those corners. So just another little trick that kind of will make it easier to have more space, because I want to be able to use my MISTI magnets to hold this panel in place while I stamp. So I can place it exactly where I want it. And this first layer, so the colors I chose, I kind of did just a partial little stenciling job just because I wanted to kind of play with them and see how they worked. And to me, it looked like almost like fabric or something like you'd see on like a tropical, I don't know, like if you went to Hawaii and you bought a blanket or a bag or a Hawaiian shirt or something like that. It just looked very modern and kind of a printed version. I see someone talking about the rainbow washi. Yeah, we kind of had a feeling that one would be a favorite. So, all right, so here is our first layer. Let's take a look. There's not much yet, but you can kind of see it coming together. And then let's move on. We'll just move. Actually, you know what? I'm going to mix up the letter or the order again. I'm going to skip stencil 2 and I'm going to start with stencil 3, which is the other flowers. And I'll kind of explain why in a minute. Okay, line that up along that outer edge. You can see the top and bottom is all set. I'm going to switch from coral reef. I'm going to go bright, happy yellow, sunshine. This is just like super uber happy color. And I don't remember if I cleaned this brush off, so I'm gonna make sure I don't have any darker color on there first. Okay, let's brighten this up and add that little touch of sunshine on here. I'm not going too crazy bold with this color, even though I could, but it's a pretty bright, happy yellow, so it didn't need to have an insane amount of color put down. Lori, you are right. The rainbow one did sell out fast. I don't know if it's been restocked a little bit, but when I looked this morning, I noticed, not surprisingly, that at least the washi was out of stock. Okay. So here is next layer. Can you kind of see that print look kind of coming together there. All right, and then I'm going to skip all the way down and do the first layer of the greenery now as well. Just going to do all of the first layers and then build up to our second layers. And for this, you know, Leah and I both love aqua leaves, and I couldn't not do that with this tropical theme card. So get ready for aqua leaves because it just fits that tropical feeling. Liz, all you have to do is put the letters PI. I think it's the same for me because I'm on that website quite a lot. Okay. So I'm starting with aquamarine. I didn't even go, I kept it on the boulder. I didn't go all the way down to ocean breeze because I wanted to keep it a little bit on the deeper, richer color tones. I love going all the way through sometimes on these stencils. Sometimes it's fun to do both layers of a single color, but I also really love just building up all of the first layers and then coming in and adding that next one. And usually I would spend a little more time kind of trying to get at the base of all of the flowers, but okay, wipe this. If you are here for the first time, I'm just using a dry microfiber cloth between stencils. Lee and I both do that mainly for the reason that it keeps our fingers from getting inky as we switch them. We clean them later after the lives with just straight isopropyl rubbing alcohol like you grab over the counter from the drugstore. Works great to get any stains or color that you don't want. Look at how pretty those are already. Guys, that isn't even the next layer of the stencils or the stamp on there yet. And I think they're so fun already. Part of me is tempted just to skip the stamp, but I think it's gonna look so fun with the stamp layer on here. All right, this is where I'm mixing things up a little bit because I'm going to use a different color family for the next layer on this. And I'm actually going to use this same color for the second layer on the coral reef flowers as well as the sunshine ones. And that kind of, to me, that adds to that printed like fabric print look that I loved. So, and something about orange and coral reef just layers together to make the brightest, yummiest, happy sunshine color together. So I'm going to keep the same color out. We'll do this stencil layer, and then we'll also pop it over the other layer with the yellow. Not something you have to do, but it's kind of a fun way to switch things up. Pam, I am actually in Washington State. Leah is in Minnesota. We kind of are all over the place. All right, and then here's that first amazing layer. Look at how much just fun depth that added, just putting that on. Oh, Susie, I am so looking forward to it. We've actually been to Hawaii a lot. My brother and his family, they lived for many years on Oahu. They now are back and forth. They have a condo there and a business they own over there, but they're kind of back and forth. So this time we decided to go to Maui because we visited Oahu so many times that we wanted to kind of explore. My husband and I have been to Maui just for a day. We island hopped over one day and did the road to Hana. If you know anything about Hawaii, you might be familiar with that. But we wanted to take our daughters back and just kind of have a little more time to explore. And after how long we haven't been traveling, we're super looking forward to the opportunity. And we've never gone in summer. We've always gone generally because summer in Washington, there's no reason to leave because it's nice. It's the rest of the year that we want to get away. All right. And there you go. Can you see that? guys see that? Isn't that awesome? That same orange over both, and it just gives a really modern, fun look. All right, but we're not quite done. We've got one layer left of the leaves to finish. So I'm gonna line that up, tape it down, and then we'll move on to stamping. I've gone all the way to the darkest color of the aquas. No, I eventually would love to visit all the other islands too. Oh, and then Europe. I definitely want to go back to Europe someday, but this kind of seemed like a good first step to build up to get to traveling again. In 2019, my daughters and I both visited Europe for our first time, just enough to get a taste for it, and then 2020 happened. So we will get back there someday. I'm gonna go back to Italy. I want to go back to France. We would love to visit as a family. We did Iceland and Norway. So those are definitely on the bucket list, but starting off with Hawaii first. Okay, let's clean this off a little. This will be one of those stencils that you can totally see the benefit of cleaning it off with rubbing alcohol, because that's a nice deep color on there. But this is the last layer of stenciling. I'm gonna clean up so we get that wow moment of the magic reveal without all the mess around. And look at that. I can't even tell you guys how tempted I am just to leave these without the stamp, because they're so fun even that way. I think the only one that, excuse me, this one down here, I feel like would be better with the stamp on it, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the stamp anyway, just because I still think it's gonna be super fun with that on there, and I wanna see how it looks with that as well. Oh, thank you, Sheila. We are kind of that way too, and I haven't used, other than just like a brief little play around and test with what I wanted to do. This is my first time using this set, and I'm loving it. Yes, Netherlands. My husband has been there to the Netherlands many times, so we would love to visit that as well. Okay, I know in Poland, I would just go to all the places. One of my daughters really wants to do Scotland and Ireland and England, so that's on the list there. We only spent, my friend and I went, we only spent one day in Italy, and so, or not Italy, in France, I'm sorry, in Paris. So I would love to go and explore that a little bit more as well. All right, pulling off this nice big stamp set. Now I tend to peel, instead of peeling the stamp off the backing, I peel the backing off the stamp, if that makes sense, on these big ones. I just don't want to risk bending, and if see this curls up, but as soon as I put my stamp back on there, it's going to flatten right back out. So I'd rather curl up my acetate a little bit, and I'm using my big, huge Memory Misty here. So bear with me here as we get this all in place. I'm going to, you see here, I've got a piece, it's not really visible, but it's a piece of clear acetate. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to slide this just kind of in the center here and hold all of it in place. This is gonna be my test stamp, so I can make sure I've got it lined up. The acetate's going to clean off because it's just a plastic. So this is from my set of, back into place there. Just what I use for making shaker cards, but I kept a whole panel fresh for this. And I'm going to just carefully work to line up. That's pretty close. I'm not going to worry about it being too perfect. But this is going to be, there we go. Make sure that it's pushed really well into this corner, so on both sides. So for this one, I tested, I don't think, it might have fit in the regular Misty at an angle. I didn't test it all the way. We also have a video using the outside of the regular size Misty to stamp it. Leah might even link that up, or if you go to tips and tricks on our YouTube channel. Another way, we have a video as well about cutting. It seems horrible, but you can truly cut these in half. Just carefully cut around the images, and then you have two separate pieces, and then it'll fit in a smaller size, and it totally works. All right, got this now lifted up. I'm gonna kind of stuck to my acetate there, so I'm going to fix that real quick here. And now that I've moved that underneath one, I know it's not going to line up, but that's okay because I'm going to adjust it to line up where I want once I get this stamped into place. Focus here so I don't pinch my fingers with my Misty. There we go. And get that acetate all pushed into the corner. That way I know I've got it even. And then let's grab the detail black. So it's going to be off camera, but I'm just inking this up with detail black. I'm not worried about perfect coverage right now because this is just kind of my test stamp to make sure that I can get it lined up. And as you can see here, I did not have that perfectly lined up, but this is going to provide me, probably because that moved underneath. But now I can lift this up. I'm going to grab a little bit of repositionable tape. It's going to let me tape this into place in perfect position. I'm going to hold that acetate right where it is, and then grab two more pieces here. And then I'm going to adjust this underneath. As you can see, I need to scooch it up a little. So I need to actually trim a little bit off the top here so that I can adjust that where I need to. And I'm just going to slide it in until my alignment is perfect. As you can see there, that's perfectly matched up. And then I can grab that tape that I have, pull this off. Tape that down up there as well. I'm going to use plenty of tape just to make sure it doesn't move. And then I'm going to, of course, that's going to move. I'm going to make sure this is back in that corner again. Lay this back over and make sure it still lines up where I want. And I think because that underneath paper moves slightly, I'm going to do one quick adjustment just because I should have taken. So I'm looking on there. I really should just take this. I'm going to take this paper out because it's wanting to slide and mess me up. And I don't want it to do that. I had it perfect and then it changed. So a little bit fiddly, but I promise it's worth it once you get that perfect alignment. It's just going to be so much handier. Okay. Pull this off again. And if I am right, now when I place that on there we go. We are perfectly lined up now and it's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to clean that off in a minute. I'm going to add the reinforcement of my magnets just to make sure nothing moves there. Also a tiny bit more tape since I have it on both sides. That way if it comes up, I can still put it back in place. Okay. I took a little bit of fiddling, but now I know that is perfectly lined up and we can stamp that. I'm going to have that perfect alignment. Again, the alternative, you could stamp it in any of our dye inks, like a soft gray or anything, and then you can have that same, just use your stamped image to line up your stencils too. Okay. Carefully peel that up. I'm going to stamp that twice. And you can see there's a tiny bit of smudging there. I'm not worried about that. That's going to cut off with the dye. This happens sometimes on the big images like this. And sometimes it gets, like I can even see there's a little bubble under there. So if I was worried, I could clean that out and then I wouldn't get the ink on those spots. But I'm not too worried. Okay. More. And I think I shifted a tiny bit there on the bottom, probably because my mat moved, but once again, I'm talking minuscule little changes. So still looks beautiful with that stamped image over the top. I just love all the detail that it adds on there. And I think mine could benefit from a couple little cardstock pieces underneath there as well, but kind of like Leah's found on hers, but I'm good with that. So we're going to pull that off and call that done. Pull that out, and here is real quick a little closer look at those beautiful. You can see at the bottom it shifted a little bit at the bottom and it's more noticeable, but nothing's perfect, right? And then I can slide this back in here. And I am going to take a couple seconds. I'll let that detail black dry for a moment. I'm going to take a second and quickly clean off the detail black on this stamp image, because it's so much easier to clean off quick. And this is our homemade stamp cleaner. Super easy. We have it. The recipe Leah and I use is posted on the website, totally just as a suggestion for you, but I know there's commercial ones you can buy too, but I've had really great luck with these. And it's so easy to make that. Okay. I think that about does that. And giving that detail black a minute or two to dry before I die cut is just going to help set that ink a little so it doesn't smear from the die cutting. And now, just like I promised, see, this is even mostly flattened out. I don't know if you can see, it's only curling up a tiny bit at the top. Now, as soon as I put my stamp back on there, I'm going to hold it right back together, flat as can be. Mission accomplished. And then just for fun, I'm going to use that stamp cleaner and clean off my acetate just so that it's all clean and ready to go if I want to do that same technique again. Yeah, closed captioning is not perfect, but we'll just take what we can get, right? The best we can hope for. Sharon, you will probably be okay even if you don't cook. Yes, that is probably accurate. All right, you should see my little side table. It is a mess today. All the things that I'm saving to put away when I'm done. All right, we're going to die cut this with these lovely coordinating dies that are going to do it all in one piece. Just line this up. You know, the other fun thing is I'm looking at those ones at the bottom that are a little bit misaligned because my thing shifted. It's actually kind of a really cool look. It almost looks like another different modern design style thing. So it's always that. Okay, this is too long for my platform. So I'm going to do my usual, just go in an inch or two. Back out that little one that die cut. I'll pull that out now so I don't accidentally have it shift, and then slide it back in and finish that pass. Have all of the pieces. All of the little tidbits. Let's get all of those out. I have no fingernails, so good luck to me. And that last piece. And just as promised, those little bits where there was smudged ink, totally cut off and out of the way. All right. We are now ready to begin our assembly. I know I'm not going to use all of these florals, but I'm going to pick which ones I want to use on here and then figure out how we want to make that work. So I've got this window. I am relatively certain I want to pop that up with foam adhesive. Then it's just a matter of, where do I want to put all of those other lovely florals? Thinking about up there, and then how much more do I want to tuck on there? Still a little undecided, so. And this is going to be one where I'm, ooh, you know what? Let me ponder something here. Do I want to, before I tear that down, I'm trying to picture here, if I cut that off, I don't really think I want to do that. I think I kind of like it. I like all that greenery too much to waste it and throw it away. All right, I'm on fiddly mode now. This is where I just think and play and decide how I want to arrange these. I need to pick a sentiment. I'm going to use one of the rainbow sentiments. And I was kind of originally thinking about, I like that one now that I'm putting it together here. Oh, that one's kind of fun too. Maybe I like that one. Okay. It's probably going to be one of those, despite my. That one's pretty good too. Okay, I'm going to stop looking because I don't need more options. Oh, there's probably. That one's pretty fun too. Okay, going to keep that one. I'm not going to look at it anymore. That's enough choices. So now, and actually, if I do this, I don't feel like I need to take any of those florals off. Some of these, I feel like I'd need to. Because I still want to make sure it shows that little bit of the. If I do too much up here, you can't even see the hot foiling, and I don't want to completely hide that. So I think I'm leaning more towards this one because I feel like that shows more of the hot foiling. This one's not bad either. Nope, I think we're going to go with this one, that last choice. All right, so now we've got that. We might use some of this stuff, but I think that's about what we want to use. So let's get this popped up with some foam adhesive. And then see what we can do from there. The big roll of foam adhesive, of course. It's a little too wide, so I'm just going to have to kind of trim it down. Didn't quite go wide enough there. No. You know, I used to be so scared about cutting florals down, and then I realized just how many more ways it gave you to use them, which was fun. And once you've done it, it's not as scary as you think it's going to be. I'm still torn on this one, but I think I love the spread. Part of me is even tempted just to leave it even that simple, like just putting that on there and maybe not adding more of the florals. Let me give that one, because I do like piling on a ton, but there's something neat about just the simplicity there as well. Let's consider. Nope, I still don't love that. You know what? Kind of liking that. Kind of like that layout. And then maybe just leave alone. Ooh, or we tuck in. Maybe this is what we are going to need there. Nope. Still like that better without that. That maybe. Nope, I think I'm gonna leave that. I think I'm gonna leave that a little bit simpler, you guys. But now you can see there are many different ways that we could add different things. And I think I do like that one in there, but that's it. That one and that one up there. And add that sentiment, maybe a tiny leaf tucking out of here just for fun. Not even sure about that yet. We're gonna go with that. So I'm gonna pop this now onto the card base. Okay, I missed Lori. I was too busy talking to myself to catch someone else talking to me. I was so absorbed with my own ponderings. So whatever it is you said that I missed, feel free to comment again because I can't scroll back and see it if I'm going to get this card wrapped up in time. Right. Curl up just like we do with the washi. I'm going to curl up the edges. As Leah started calling it now, fluffing the florals. I feel like dimensionalizing 3D dimension. I want to say I'm going to put a little foam adhesive just in that little section in there, just because I want it to hold steady there. And the rest I'm going to leave kind of floating free. Pop it up far enough that you can see that hot foil frame kind of jutting out behind it just slightly. And then there we go. There's the sentiment we were going to use. And that flower we're going to tuck behind there. I know, I kind of do love it just with the cluster and the sentiment. There is something clean and simple, but I kind of like this one tucked back there too. I feel like it just kind of draws the eye around. So I'm going to go for that, even if maybe I don't need to. And just going to put foam adhesive on the part that's going to pop. So a little less there. Hopefully it's easy just to wiggle it around and trim off what you don't need. Okay, that tucks in there just right. So I can tuck this under. Go ahead and adhere that down. Then we'll add this one, which I don't need foam adhesive for this one, just a little bit of liquid glue. And yes, clean and simple. I tend a lot towards clean and simple, but like I said, today I'm kind of just feeling the extra little something. So I'm gonna just tuck it around so it's just there a little bit. There we go, like that. You know what? I think that's what that needs to be right there. Then we add a little bit of the pink up there because it just felt like it needed all of the colors tucked over there too. All right. I like that. Wiggle that around a little more. So it pops out enough. And then we've only got one thing left. And then I've still got all of these, and these will probably end up on another card here too. But let's pull out and add a little bit of sparkle to bling this up and finish it off. You all know me and my, and then here is where I was talking about, hold on, I found a little more adhesive I hadn't gotten off. But this would be really fun to add on the inside and stamp on your sentiment. In fact, a lot of these would be really pretty. Look at that. Look what we could do there. Totally embellish the inside of the card as well. How fun is that? And put a little spot, whether you stamped a sentiment or just left a spot to tuck a little handwritten note or something in there. I have to do that up and then I flip that around. If we finish and get some bling on here and we still have a moment, I might do that. Otherwise, I might just do that later after the live. Now wrap this up on time. And I'm pretty positive I'm going to want some of that. No, I need some of that yellow. And I'm thinking that's the pink. So we're going to go for those bright colors. I don't think I embellished the inside of my cards near enough, but that just, those pieces just worked too well together to not put them to use there. Little pink one wants to go on there now. All right, I'm going to go probably take a bigger yellow here and a bigger of the pink up here. Then we'll do a medium aqua and nope, medium yellow. So I'm going to do a little cluster of the 3 sizes. And we'll do a tiny aqua there. I can make it stay, and a tiny of the pink here. Yeah, really wants to stay attached. Yep, I think that works. I think I'm just going to keep those right there as is. How often does trouble knowing which of the 3 sizes? So I like to use all 3 sizes and sometimes in different colors. And if you want to know kind of why I picked the colors I did here in the arrangement, I had a yellow flower there. So I picked the largest pink because I also have that aqua frame repeating. So I picked the largest of the color that I wanted to kind of connect to up there since I already have a yellow flower. And then down here, I've got more of the pink. So I put the larger of the yellow flowers. I don't know if that all makes sense, but that's kind of, and these are our Essentials Jewels mix. Someone asked, I lost a comment there, wondering who was, what these are. This is something we carry in our store, all packaged and looking just like that. Super handy and easy. But that's kind of how I picked the colors that I went with here, is so that they kind of pulled together all the colors that I already used on my stenciled florals. Okay, there's that. And I think, yeah, I've got enough time. This isn't going to take very long. We're going to go ahead and embellish the inside. And I'm going to kind of hold it down here. I'm going to use a clear stamp block just to keep it from flipping up on me. And plan there. Decide here. I think I'm going to not use foam adhesive on the inside because I want it to close. But I'm only going to do a little adhesive in the middle so I can tuck things around and kind of under and above and below and all that. So that can go there. I think this can tuck under there. I want to leave as much of that hexagon shape kind of free there to be able to write on, to leave a note or whatever. Just going to kind of plan my placement and then I'll glue everything down once. Because I want to just use all of these up on this card. So no such thing as too many, right? Okay. And just like that. I'm going to adhere those down and tuck them around and under. I'm going to curl it slightly. It'll be inside the card. So realistically, I'm not fooling myself that it's not going to get flattened, but I still think it's fun to have that little bit of dimension on there. So why not? And I could have kept, in fact, even this design that we're putting inside here, it would be pretty easy to just turn this into a card front too. But what a way to bump your card up to the next level by embellishing the inside a little bit too. Tiny bit on those last couple leaves. And this is done and ready to go. And the hardest part's not putting any bling on the inside, because that would definitely be too much to try and get it to close. I mean, sure you could, but see, if you wanted to do this as a card front and use all your other pieces, look how easy it would be to just tuck a different sentiment on there, and you have a whole different design and look. Or that. I really like that one on there. Okay. Move that out of the way. There's a closer look again at the fun inside using some of the leftover pieces of our card front there. And who is not ready for a tropical vacation? Because I know I am after looking at those colors and those flowers. Take me away. I'm all ready to go. All right. Outside, inside. I'm gonna have to put that on Instagram as a reel so you can see the open and close effect. All right, I'm going to switch the camera around, and it looks like I got done in time to quickly announce a winner, say goodbye, and head off to my daughter's appointment. So if I missed any comments, I apologize today. I was doing a lot of stuff, so I just wanted to slide through and get it all done so I could get done in time, and I knew I would be a little focused and miss some of the comments. So I'm just going to wait long enough for Leah to announce that and say in advance, thank you everyone who joined us today. I had so much fun hanging out with you, even though I feel like I didn't keep up with the chat as good as normal. I'll go back and read some of that. If you have any questions that I missed that Leah didn't answer, feel free to leave them as a comment on the video. And again, all of everything I used is linked in the video description as well. What do I do with all these gorgeous? So we have a big family, so I do share a lot with them, family and friends. Some of them get saved and sent to Pinkfresh to send to retailers or use for trade shows. Thank you, Sharon. Curly hair, and it had a mind of its own today, and it worked. You never know what you're gonna get. Laura Vance, you are today's $15 gift card winner, so congratulations. Email, it's on the comment where you're tagged, but email Leah at Pinkfresh Studio. Her name is spelled L-E-A, no H at the end, and give her 2 or 3 days to get back to you with that. All right, thank you everyone for joining us today. Check out the Instagram hop and the blog hop, tons of giveaway opportunities. Here on YouTube, there's a reveal or release video and a chance to win. I mean, this whole release, all of the washi, all of the hot foil plates. Make sure and check that out because there's a chance to win all of that, as well as on the blog and on Instagram. So don't miss those, and I will see you again soon. We might have something in the works for later this week for another live. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Take care, everyone.